Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Thursday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. Sorry I'm slightly late. I'm like about 2 minutes late. I've always heard and I've always believed that if people are going to tune in to watch you, the least you can do is show up. So I do apologize. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late. The thing is, it's like I kind of scrambled to find my art supplies tonight. I was originally going to draw I'm still going to draw a rooster. But I was originally thinking I was going to do ink over watercolor. But after I put down the watercolor, I was looking at the watercolor I had put down, and I'm like, this should really be one of my pastel drawings. So I decided to like pivot at the last minute. And if you guys have seen my video the other day about the process, you know that like pivoting at the last minute doesn't really work. It still takes a little while to do the watercolor and then to put down the clear gesso, sorry. I am a little bit behind, but I'm here. We're here. This is fine. We've been late before where I forgot to turn on the video. At least I didn't do that this time. So I think it's going to be fun. Rooster is a little bit outside my comfort zone. Never drawn a rooster before, but it's a bird, right? Like how hard can it be? We can do this. All right. So anyway, hopefully that's cool with you guys. I'm going to switch to the thing. Hopefully my microphone's working. If you guys can't hear me, let me know, because like when I turned it on this time, for some reason the microphone wasn't working, so I had to like adjust it. But anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in. So as you can see, I kind of first off, you may notice something with Geppetto today. Apparently he got into the cloning machine and he cloned himself a mini-me. So we have no, it's not a baby. It's a clone. Geppetto is, I don't think Geppetto can make babies. So it's definitely a clone. If you guys have a cool name for a mini-me, Geppetto, feel free to shout some out and let me know, because he's got a clone or, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, I'm going to get back to the rooster. I'm just going to get started on this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I wasn't really prepared today, so hopefully this works out. But yeah, if you guys can't hear me well, let me know. Just make sure that I have the mic working. But yeah, I mean, the channel's been doing pretty well lately. Like, not a lot of people in here tonight, but that video I made the other day, it's actually performing better than some of my videos I put out. Some of my videos I put out, they only get like 20 views and stuff like that. This one's got, a couple dozen, which is nice. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty jazzed. Thinking that maybe the channel can grow. I don't know. We'll see. I just need to make more standalone videos of, like tutorials and stuff like that. I think that's on me. Like I'm more of a live stream kind of guy. I need to make more of these like little tutorial type videos and just kind of like let that grow the channel. I think that's what YouTube likes. So we'll see. I don't know. Hey Kinsley. Oh, sorry, and a shout out. We've got Kid in the room. We've got Because I Can. That is definitely enough for a party on a Thursday night. So to let you know how late I am, some of this stuff is still wet. So some of this watercolor, so I have to work around the wet part. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll do it live. It's fine. But yeah, as you can see by this watercolor, I was originally trying. It's a mini-me clone, Kinsley. So you guys get to name him or her, whichever you guys prefer, or just give it a non-binary name, whatever you guys want to do. Geppetto was actually a name that was generated by you guys. I forget who exactly came up with Geppetto. Probably Kid. And yeah, so this new guy, you guys get to name him too. I don't have any preference. Whatever you guys name him. You guys throw out some ideas. Maybe we'll do like a poll on the community tab, like we've done in the past. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so like you can see by this watercolor that, my original thought of like doing I was going to do an ink drawing like I did with the elephant that I did. and because there is a lot of texture in this rooster face, um, but the more I started looking at the watercolor I did put down, I'm like, that's kind of a color picture. Like it would look weird to be black and white over this color, I think. So that's what I went with. Hopefully it works out. I think I'm gonna do mostly pencils tonight. But hopefully you guys are looking forward to the weekend. I know I am. It's gonna be awesome. I didn't even know you had a channel in the past, because I can. What kind of stuff do you post there? Is it like mostly treasure hunting stuff, or I need to check that out. I mean, if you want me to, if you wanted to stay hidden, that's fine too. I've always had like a YouTube channel. I was actually on YouTube from the beginning. I just never posted anything. I had a channel way back in the day. I lived in a small town in Kentucky called Maysville, Kentucky. Really small town, like 10,000 people or less. It's not very large. And a buddy of mine and I did a like a little kind of podcast almost, a video podcast called From Maysville, and we did that before YouTube was really a thing. Um, we did it back when it was still Google Video, and let's see, I want to say this was like 2008, 2007, something like that. And it was kind of cool. And then like when they switched to YouTube, they said we had to like get all of our videos off of Google Video and move it to YouTube. And I wish I had, but I didn't. And all those videos were lost. And I was like, oh, bummer. Because like I used to have fun. We would just basically sit around and drink. Big surprise. Just basically sit around and drink and talk about that little small town, which, has like a lot of history to it. I've mentioned it sometimes on this channel. It's where George Clooney's from. His aunt Rosemary Clooney is from there. His dad still lives there. Basically, he lives in Augusta, Kentucky, which is nearby. I've gotten to meet the Clooneys on several occasions. Um, but yeah, there's like a lot of history there and stuff. It's kind of a cool little town. It's like basically the first stop you would make on the Ohio River coming out of the Appalachian Mountains. So like if you were a pioneer back in the day and you were making that long journey um, through the Appalachian Mountains by river, it's like the first stop. It's basically like the first stop you would hit before you hit Cincinnati, which was also a major um, transportation hub. Um, yeah, so it was a lot of fun doing that kind of video podcast back in the day, and I kind of regret not keeping those videos. That would have been cool, even though they'd be kind of worthless now. Like technology's come a long way. I think I did them in like 4:3 aspect ratio. That's how long ago this was. It was before 16:9 even became a thing. In case you're wondering, all the widescreens, like you're probably seeing this on a widescreen, that's 16:9 aspect ratio. And for you kids out there, it was not always that. Back in the old days, it's 4:3 aspect ratio. Back in the old television days. So that's how the internet started with their video. It was 640. No wait, it was 640 by 480, I think, is the pixel size of videos back in the day. But anyway, I don't know how I got on that little memory trail there. But no, like I used to put up videos that like I wanted to share with people, I guess. So like if the dog did something cute, I would put that up. But I never really had an audience. It was mostly like for friends and family and stuff. It wasn't until I decided to do this like art show where I'm like learning art in public, that I really like delve down, delve down, went down the rabbit hole of like starting a channel and all that stuff. So I'm still kind of new to this stuff. I have a little bit of video experience, but not much. Like the quality of my videos obviously are not up to standards. But that's just because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go along. But that's how you do it, you know? You you practice in public. So I'm gonna put down like quite a bit of color here, even though there is some like considerable amount of white that goes over this stuff. And I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do that yet. So I'm just gonna kind of like put in this stuff and then kind of see where I go from there. So I'm hoping to pick out any kind of like dog fur. Like I went to go and grab a hair dryer to dry this stuff so that it'll be ready in time, and I ended up getting like a dust bunny of dog fur like all over my picture. So I tried to pluck it all out. Hopefully I did. It's a bit embarrassing, but whatever. Hey, Rum Dog, glad you made it. We're doing a rooster tonight. Right now it kind of looks like a parrot maybe, but it will hopefully take on some rooster-like qualities before too long. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll pivot into doing a parrot instead. Pivot into doing a parrot instead. Yeah, that's cool. Um, I'm looking forward to this weekend because finally there's some Marvel content in the theaters. Like I know it's not Captain America isn't really expected to do very well. It's one of those filler type movies and stuff. Like the big ones this year are supposed to be Fantastic Four and what else is this year? Daredevil Born Again, which is the Disney Plus show. Those are the big ones that everybody's expecting this year, and maybe there was one other one I can't remember. Oh, like Superman. That's gonna be cool, but that's not DC. No one's, or that's not Marvel. Sorry, no one's really expecting Captain America to do very well, but I'm gonna go see it anyway. You guys know how it is. I will watch anything Marvel, so I'm kind of excited about that. We'll have to see how it goes, but I am going to go see that tomorrow, I think, or maybe Saturday. I don't know. My I think my younger brother's in town, so I might have to visit with him. Not have to. I look forward to visiting with him. Oh, Rome's getting a puppy. Nice. Subscribe to everybody that was a forest fence searcher. Kid wants all the deets. She wants all the details and stuff. She's subscribed to everybody who might have some clues. I love it. That's awesome. All right, so this beak actually has some blue in it, so I'm gonna try to get this beak on. Actually, I'm gonna start with a yellow just as a base, and then kind of come back over it. It's kind of got a couple colors in here, so I want to start with that just to give me something to work with, and then I think over that I'll get some lavender, I guess, up in here, and then kind of get some blues and stuff. Bird beaks are kind of cool. I like birds. Um, Roosters are probably like some of the dumbest birds I've ever seen. They don't like what is it? Moana, the movie, kind of I think accurately represented roosters. They seem kind of dumb. Kid says, correction, Jeremy, you will watch anything Harrison Ford. That is true. I have a man crush on Harrison Ford. I've always liked Harrison Ford ever since I was a little kid and watched Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time. Um, he is he is up there in age. He's like in his 80s and stuff, but he is still trucking along. It is amazing that he is doing all the stuff he is doing at his age. Um, it's not real. Obviously, he's not really the Red Hulk, but just for him to be doing action movies at all at his age is pretty astounding. Um, like if I ever like he does other things too. Like he's a pilot. He's he like he doesn't have to work is what I'm getting at. Like he has a full life. But he still does it. And what's cool is, well, not always. Like sometimes he could phone in a movie and still get away with it. People are going to see him, not his acting performance and stuff. But apparently in this movie, they say he actually, like I've seen some of this the reviews for it already, and they say that he brings his A game. He doesn't just phone it in. He brings his acting chops to the big screen once again. So I'm looking forward to that. Kid's right. I would watch anything Harrison Ford related. I love the Harrison Ford Jeep commercial. I haven't seen that, so I only saw bits and pieces of the Super Bowl. I didn't get to see all of the stuff. I wish I had, but now that you said that, I'm gonna have to go and look that up. Um, you know, I bet you I could. I bet you I could play commercials on my channel without getting copyright dings. I wish that I could play music. I really do, because I think that even like some kind of like classical piano music or something while drawing. I think that that would be kind of cool. But alas, I don't think I'm allowed to. I mean, I could probably subscribe to one of those royalty-free services or something like that, but I haven't yet. But anyway, I think I could play a commercial without getting a copyright ding. No, I haven't seen that yet, kid, but I will. I will check that out just because you mentioned it. So, talking about the process here. So, like, for those of you who are new to my channel or haven't watched my video where I go over the process, basically, I start with like a wash of watercolor just to get some basic background colors in, and then I kind of come over it with these pastels. And the process is that I start with a layer of pastels that is super blurred out, and then over that I add detail and stuff, and hopefully that comes out looking okay. It has in the past, but you never really know. I feel I feel more and more confident the longer I do these drawings that you know it's either going to turn out good or it's going to turn out decent enough to where I can fix major mistakes and stuff. Like I'm not too worried about it. I'm not saying that all my stuff is all that, which it isn't. Like there is definitely some room for improvement, but I'm less worried about it looking like total crap. That said, this one's gonna probably look like total crap, but anyway. Oh, pit bulls. Nice. Oh, you're getting a pit bull? I didn't know that. Neat. There's some places that don't allow pit bulls, I think, depending on where you're at. Which I think is a shame. It's not really the animal, I don't think. I think it's the owners and stuff that kind of lead those things astray. But all right, so we got a bit of a beak going here. So away from up and through the eye and stuff, it's going to be a little bit more kind of like you start getting feathers up through like almost like an eyebrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on that. This brown color I'm using, I think I'm gonna do most of this in pastel pencils. This brown color I'm using is not the color. I think I'm gonna have to come back over it with some other colors, but I just kind of want to get this started just so that I can see where um, I don't even know what that's called. Whatever the red part is of a rooster, like the stuff. If anybody knows what that's called, let me know. But wherever that becomes feathers and stuff is what I kind of got to get in here. Hey, we got Mama Q in the house. Nice. Um, oh, and Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Sorry, I missed you as well. Mama Q's like, Oh, and we got Alan K. Wow, wow, a bunch of people showing up. Cool. Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, the classic music. I think that would be kind of cool if I can get some music playing on here. Maybe I'll look into that. I don't think it's a complete loss. Um, I think I can play like music softly so that you guys can still hear me talk about the pictures and we can still chat and stuff without it being annoying. But yeah, Mama Q says, wait, did you switch mediums? No, this is watercolor with pastel over it. It's like I've been doing. I was gonna do ink, but then I decided to because the color was there and stuff. I decided to go ahead and do pastel on this one. But I am prone to switching mediums, so you have to, you know, you never know what you're gonna expect on this channel because I'm always making things up. Um, How to get to a place with him? Let's see, Monkey. Looks like a Eagle Nebula. Yeah, it does kind of. Hopefully it'll start coming together. I think eventually. There's a lot here to cover in this bird's face, so we'll get it there. Like for example, the head of the bird is not this wide. Like the way the watercolor works, just because like it kind of like doesn't have this hard edge here, it looks much wider. So I need to get that hard edge back in there. So I'm going to kind of work on that here real quick, just so that it's not as confusing as it kind of looks right now. Yeah. So this would be the edge of the face actually, and then it kind of comes back into a what is that rooster thing called? The whatever it's called. It looks like Geppetto had a son. That's a clone. It's a mini me. Kevin says, was listening but just got home. Took a short day trip to Cincinnati. Nice. I love Cincinnati. I've been wanting to get up there to the art museum. I haven't done it in a while. It's on my list. As soon as I find some free time. Someday. I don't know why I'm always so busy. That never comes of it. It's not like I'm getting ahead in life. It's not like I'm moving forward. I'm just always busy. I spend a lot of time working at my computer, um, which I don't think is all that healthy. I need to branch out and do more things. I've got this app idea that I've been toying with. Maybe you guys might have some input on it. I was thinking about like almost like a art productivity app. I was thinking about building an app mostly for myself, but I think like if I use it, maybe other people might use it as well. But I want an app on my phone that tracks the amount of time that I spend working on pictures and stuff because outside of doing the live streams and stuff, I kind of lose track sometimes. I'm not sure if I'm meeting my goals or not. Uh, I kind of get lost on that. So I was thinking about building a kind of like an art journal kind of app and stuff, just for my own purposes, um, so I can kind of track that type of stuff. I want to be more productive, essentially. I want to, be more accountable to like what I'm trying to do and all of that stuff. We'll see how it goes, but I'll let you guys know if I actually get around to building that. And sometimes I build apps pretty quickly, so maybe I'll just bust out like a prototype soon. We'll see. I think that would be a cool project for this year. Just something to kind of keep track of my art and my progress, and you know, theoretically, it's something that other people can use as well. We'll see. I'm always so busy, and then I'm literally sitting here making up new things to do. Gobble wobbler. That's not what it's called. A gobble. Wait, maybe it is. I don't know. Is that what it's called? A gobble wobbler? That was a compliment, by the way. Yeah, Alan, you don't have to worry about that. I always take everything that you say as a compliment or as a joke or something like that. You're good. I appreciate it. Yeah, everybody here is friends. Like I think we all get along and understand each other. Gobbler wobbler. All right, so I need to kind of figure out how to get the back of this going right. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. Got white here. Kind of want to take that line and really, really let people know that there is a separation between bird and background here. So sometimes that's not always clear, and you have to kind of define it. Especially, so if you watch my process video, I did kind of go over how this stuff works. Um, you don't always have a lot of control, at least the way I do it, and where the water goes. Um, I try to just let the water just kind of make its own way around the paper. Um, and then you sometimes end up with like a mess that you can't really use exactly like you want, right? So sometimes you have to carve things back out. So in this case, this bird's neck was too wide, and I have to kind of like rein it in a little bit. So that's what I'm doing here. But I don't really want to cover up all of the watercolor. I kind of want this to be softly blended in, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm pretty happy with the basic shapes here so far. So let's keep trucking along, see how it goes. Call them combs in Western Kentucky. Is that what they're called? A wattle? So I know, I think this is called a wattle, right? Is the top of it called a wattle as well? Like this definitely seems like a wattle, because they, as we get older, we get those. Let me put this in here just to kind of remember where my lines are. But Kevin calls them combs. Comb and a wattle. There we go. All right, cool. That makes sense. I mean, it does kind of look like a comb. I mean, the clues in the in what they do, or something. I don't know. Oh, Mama Q, you said you're going to go watch Captain America. Wait, did you already see Captain America? Or are you going to go see Anyway, no spoilers is what I really want to say. Because I am going to go see Captain America as soon as I can, but it may be Saturday before I can. The problem is, it's the same way with every freaking Marvel movie. I have to go and see it like sooner than later because if I don't, it's going to get spoiled because I subscribe to all those channels. Like when I'm not watching art videos, I am watching comic book videos, and sometimes music. I do like music, um, but for the most part, it's either comic books or art. So if there's a Marvel movie in theaters, it's going to get spoiled if I don't go and see it right away. Oh, you're going in a bit. Do not tell me what. I mean, you can tell me if you liked it. I've been hearing mixed reviews. Like, it's not the best Marvel movie, but it's not as bad as like maybe the Marvels or something like that. Which, I didn't mind the Marvels. I mean, obviously it's not the best movie, but I didn't mind it so much. So, if that's their biggest complaint, then I think I might actually enjoy it. Sorry for reaching across the paper there. I'm gonna go with some purples here just to kind of. I have all this soft form in here, but now I need to kind of start carving some things out and making things make sense a little bit. So I'm gonna start using some purple here, just to kind of. I'm not going too weird on the colors. I'm kind of keeping a little bit realistic, just because you know a rooster kind of already has these very vibrant colors that I'm known to use and stuff like that. So I'm going to go a little bit traditional here. I'm not really sure how to get the texture in here. I guess I'm just going to kind of stipple it maybe, and then kind of like, yeah, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Just going to kind of stipple it and then kind of stipple in some other stuff over it, I guess. We'll see. Waddle, waddle, waddle. um, have you guys ever heard the duck that goes up to the lemonade stand and asks for grapes? That song gets stuck in my head sometimes. And then he waddled away, waddle, waddle. So when there's not music, I kind of want to sing myself, and that is not good. So I need to get some music on this channel, I think. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to kind of like pockmark in some texture up here. I don't really know how this is going to go. Maybe it's too soon to be doing this, but I don't know. Doesn't look too bad, right? Get some. These are probably a little bit bigger of things than I really need to be putting in here. But this is what I was going to do with the ink anyway. Like I said at the start, I was intentionally, or I was intending to do like an ink drawing over the watercolor. But as I put down the watercolor, I started thinking, nah, this probably should be pastel just because of the colors and stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. Um, so when I was gonna do ink, I was just gonna kind of like stipple in some of these details. So I think I'm just gonna do that now. I'm gonna smooth out some of this stuff up here so that I have some background to work with. I kind of want this to be kind of ghosted up here. Yeah, I think that's fine. Almost like, yeah, almost like it's like faded out a little bit. But I do want it to be smooth and then kind of come over it with some ripples. I think this isn't a spoiler. This was in the all of the promotional stuff like the trailers and stuff like that. I think Harrison Ford as a Red Hulk is going to be kind of cool. So I don't know how they're doing Red Hulk in this movie, but Red Hulk in the comics, um, like a lot of people don't realize, William Hurt is the character like Thunderbolt Ross. You've seen him before. You may not remember him. He was in a lot of the Marvel movies. Actually, he started in the Hulk movie, and he was all the way through like Endgame. He was the guy who was giving the people grief in Captain America's Civil War. He was a senator, I think, or like a general or something that became a senator. But anyway, he's president now. Well, unfortunately, William Hurt, he died in real life, so he had to be recast. So that's who Harrison Ford's playing. He's playing Thunderbolt Ross. Um, so in the comics, Thunderbolt Ross does get like, you know, the Hulk like serum or whatever it is that turns him into the Red Hulk, but he is a Red Hulk in the comics. So Jeremy, I sent you an art video about Marvel and horror Marvel. I did see that you sent me an email. I haven't had a chance to go through that yet, but I will check that out for sure. Um, I should probably check all my emails before I come in here, and just in case it's from one of you guys and you guys had questions or something. I'm sorry. I kind of suck at the email game. Um, we'll get better. But yeah, so like Harrison Ford took over William Hurt's role because William Hurt died in real life, but he's been in several movies. Like he's not one of the characters that you would probably remember from the Marvel movies, especially if you're not like a Marvel super fan like I am. But he is there, he is the government guy that you know is basically always giving them grief. So I don't know how that's supposed to be addressed in this movie. I don't know if he's like on the hero side or if he's like a villain or what. You never know how Marvel's going to adapt something into a movie just because like they do like to subvert expectations. So just because something is one way in the comics doesn't mean it's going to end up being that way in the movies. But that's who he's playing, and he is the Red Hulk in the comics as well. And one of the interesting things about Red Hulk versus regular Hulk is each incarnation of was a rooster playing a band. I feel like there's a punchline coming here. Um, one of the cool things about the Hulk characters and all the different variations is that there are subtle differences between them. So, like one of the interesting things, I don't know if I think they're doing this in the movie just from the previews, but one of the things about Red Hulk is that he literally is hot. Like that's why he's red, and you know, like if he shakes your hand for whatever, I couldn't imagine a Hulk shaking your hand, but if he did, it would burn. So like he could set something on fire if he wanted to. That's kind of like his special ability. So I think they're doing some of that in the movie, but I don't know how much. They may not spend a lot of time on that kind of stuff, but I think it's kind of cool. And I don't think he's strictly a villain. He might be in this movie, or he may be partially a villain. Sometimes they do that kind of stuff. You know, somebody turns out to be a villain, and then they reform or something, and you know, like Wanda, Scarlet Witch. She started off as a villain in the movies, and then she became good, and then she became bad again. So like they've been all over the place with her character. I don't know how Red Hulk's gonna be. We'll see. Just getting some kind of like purple in here just to kind of break it up a little bit. There's a lot of detail in this comb, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get it all in there and stuff. I should have thought ahead about that. But you know, I think we got time. We got time to make this work. We're only like 40 minutes into this. What is the rooster play in a band? Not sure. Drums, of course. He has built-in drumsticks. That's good. Yeah, that's one of those ones that you probably should have seen coming. That's especially like I live in Kentucky. We're like the kings of like fried chicken here. So I should have guessed that one. That's pretty good. You guys have the best jokes. Drumsticks. So I don't know. Like this is probably not the best. I'm gonna go with a different one just to kind of stipple in some details here. Um, this is one of those areas where you would wish the pencils, like the color, the pastel pencils, were soft enough where you can just kind of stipple in some white. I should probably use the Derwents for that, um, but I have to use this stick. Now theoretically, this is one of those things that I could come back over with some colored pencils and kind of do this, but I'm committed to it already. I'm doing the stick, and I think it's working out. That kind of looks a little bit like some texture. You know, it doesn't take much. All you need to do is get in some little white lights, highlights in some dark areas and stuff, and then you kind of get the sense that there's some bumps there, essentially. My only concern is hopefully I have enough time to get enough bumps in so that it looks believable, which I think will be okay. Um, yeah, you make my heart cock-a-doodle do. Nice. What's up, chick? Roosters are cool. Like, you know, I don't know why I haven't done one before. I do like a lot of animals and I do like a lot of wildlife and stuff like that. You would think roosters would have been something I've already done, but I haven't. This is my first rooster. I've done some birds. Um, I don't think I've ever drawn a rooster in my entire life. That's so weird. You know, like when you start thinking like, I'm gonna be an artist and I'm gonna draw like different things. Probably a rooster is not high on the list of things that you think about. Like, you know, you think about pet portraits, sure. You think about, you know, various woodland creatures. You don't usually think about roosters that much. But if you're looking for a challenge, this will do it. It's definitely a challenge, especially in like my time slot. You know, I don't want to drag this on forever. Might be one of those things where I have to put in more detail later off camera or something like that. But I think we got a good start here. I kind of get some more stipples up here, and then I'll move on to some of the other areas because the other areas are just as important. My mom collected roosters. Neat. Yeah, they are kind of funny animals. You know, I mentioned just a little while ago, but I think it's true. Like Moana, the movie and stuff, kind of did the rooster right. They don't seem to be all that smart. And I don't know if it's just because they look dumb or they actually are dumb, but they look dumb. They don't look like they're very smart. And I don't mean to be mean. Like if you're a rooster and you happen to be watching my show, I'm not trying to diss you or anything like that. Like um I apologize. And it is kind of like a stereotype and stuff. Like the rooster society, like the rooster segment of my audience and stuff. I don't want you guys to take offense. I'm just speaking in generalities. You guys are dumb. You know. Sorry. I apologize for that. But crack a book or something. Learn a little. It's not my fault. You dumb. Um, you know, it might just be they look dumb. I don't know. They might not be dumb. I get canceled by a rooster. Like, I gotta watch what I say. All right. Anyway, I am going to move on to. So I want there to be some kind of detail in this. Oh, that's not quick enough. Go with this instead. Jeremy drawing a rooster today because he was feeling cocky. Yep. I was like, I got this. I can do a rooster. I didn't realize actually how challenging it is. Doing this now, I'm like, wow, this is a little bit more challenging than I thought it would be. It's mostly just because, like, there's a lot of detail in this face. I think that's the appeal, and I think that's also the challenge. I did do a parrot before, and I think in the parrot's face, you also have similar kind of, I guess, wattles and combs and stuff, and not the wattles, but you do have the similar comb in a parrot that is a bit challenging. But that's why we do it, right? We don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's hard. What's that from? That's what Kennedy talking about the moon mission. We do it because it's hard. I like that philosophy. Don't do what is easy. Well, do what's easy. Sure, do that sometimes, right? But also challenge yourself. Like pick something just because you can't do it. Like you can't do it, and you have to figure out how you're going to pull it off. Do that thing every now and then. Just to challenge yourself. Who wants to do what they're able to do? You should want to do what you're unable to do. Yeah, I like that better. You should I'm not saying you can do it, obviously, because like sometimes it may take training, right? So like I'm not in the best of shape. I mean, I try to stay in shape and everything, but it's a bit of a challenge. So I probably could not run the Boston Marathon. Um, that is not something I would be able to pull off now. But you know what? I could train. I could practice. I could get on that treadmill and practice. I'm not saying I'm gonna. I'm probably not gonna. I'm probably gonna go to sleep. But I could, and if I just like, well, all right, I'm not gonna do the Boston um, marathon. I'm going to go for a walk around Walmart and then buy some donuts. I could do that. I've done that. I am fully capable of walking around Walmart and buying donuts. I do it all the time. I mean, I don't buy a lot of donuts, but yeah, that's what I'm capable of doing. But I should try. Maybe not the Boston Marathon. That's a bit step up. But maybe I could be like, well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that 4 mile hike. I could do a 4 mile hike. I've done that before. So I'm like, maybe I'll do that, and that'll be my thing. I'll do that, and then I'll build up to like maybe a 10 mile hike or 20. I don't think of it. I don't think I've ever done a 20-mile hike. Maybe I have like when I was a kid in the Boy Scout or something, but I don't think I have. So that should be my challenge. I should be like, I want to do a 20-mile hike. And I should just like train and practice and stuff like that. So when it comes to art, it's the same thing. It's like I can draw a bird, but a rooster is going to be challenging. So there's two things I could do. I could either like, well, I'm never going to draw a rooster because it's too challenging, or I can be like, that's what I want to draw. I want to draw the rooster, and I think more people should do that. I think more people should be like, I want to do the hard thing. To be honest with you, in life, and like, sometimes I joke and stuff, this is actually serious. In life, I have found that the more you do the hard thing first, like whatever you're facing, like if you have two choices, right? And this is, I truly believe this. If you have two choices before you and one of them's more difficult, that's the one you should do. Like if you really have to choose between two things and one of them is harder, that's the one that's going to be a workout. Um, and maybe it won't work out. Like maybe, yeah, maybe it's too difficult. Maybe you'll fail or something like that. But that is the one that you should really try, because it's just the way that life works. Fortune favors the bold. That is true. So, and a lot of times, like, the challenging thing is actually the thing that you know that you have to do, and you just don't want to do it. That's always the case. Like if you've got bad news to deliver to somebody, it doesn't help to like let it fester. You have to just like drop that on that person and just be like pull the band-aid, rip the band-aid off. That is like a true story. Clucky is looking pretty good so far. I like that name, Clucky. Clucky is clutch. It's starting to get some detail to it, and it's starting to look a little bit more like a rooster. I think. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we're only like almost an hour into it. Um, but yeah, I really truly believe like you should be like, and I'm not saying it's easy. It is not easy. It's literally hard. That is the whole point. It's literally hard. It is the thing that you do not want to do. It is the thing that you've been putting off. And I'm guilty of this. I'm totally guilty of this. I have a list of things that I've been putting off because I don't want to do it, and it's too hard. And I think I'm not even going to be able to do it. Maybe I'll fail at it. Whatever it is. There's like a long laundry list of those things that I know of. I don't even have to think about it. Like it's not even unknown to me. I know these things, and what I found is that when I do the hard thing, there's rewards, like it just works out. It's all great. One of these days there won't be, but for the most part, like there's one thing that you're not going to be able to accomplish, and maybe it's skydiving when you're 90 years old. Maybe you're not going to live through that. Maybe when you're 90, maybe when you're Harrison Ford's age, you should just like call it a day and hang up your boots and all that stuff. There's one thing that you're not going to be able to do, and that's going to be the last thing that you ever do. But until that time, till that day, you should do the hard thing. It's a takeaway. Do the hard thing. You'll feel better about it. You'll feel empowered. Honestly, like there are that's the I mean honestly that is the thing. The thing is that like I'm like this is the thing, not the other thing that I just said was the thing. This is absolutely the thing. The thing is that you don't know the boundaries of what you're capable of. You don't know. You think you know, but you don't know until you press those boundaries. And that's the thing. That is the thing. That's the actual thing, not the thing before. Um, the thing is that you have no idea what your limits are, right? So, like, you may start off like drawing this bird or this rooster and find that you can't do it. And now you know your limitation. Now you know that you need to practice a little bit more, and then maybe you can come back and do it later. But in the meantime, You have no idea that you can't draw this bird until you go to draw it and you can't do it. That's what I'm getting at. It's like you have no idea the boundaries of what you're capable of and stuff. So you have no idea. You don't know if you can pull it off or not, right? So that's why you do the hard thing. You do the hard thing so that you know what your limits are. And guess what? You're going to be surprised at how far the limits are. You're going to go and try something that you think you can't do, and you're going to find that you can do it. And then you're going to be like, wow, what else can I try? And then you're going to push those limits, and you're going to continue pushing those limits until one day you bump up this limitation. But guess what? It's going to be so far down the road that you're going to be amazed at what all you accomplish in the meantime. I believe that. I truly do. There's one thing that you're not going to be able to do, and you have no idea what it is or how far away that is in your life. Keep pushing that boundary is what I'm getting at, especially in art. Like this is an art show. I'm kind of loosely talking about art. Try to draw something that you don't think you can pull off, and guess what? Maybe you can't. Maybe that first time you go to draw it, you can't. There's a lot of videos on this channel of shit that I couldn't pull off. It just didn't work out. It looked terrible. Some of it worse than others. But I mean, you keep at it. You keep at it. There's no reason to just try it once and then call it done. There's like some specific examples. There are some like people portraits and stuff that I really messed up. But guess what? Like some of my people portraits, they turn out just fine. So who knows? Who knows? I'm not sure how this rooster's turning out, but I think it's turning out okay. I think it'll be all right. Just takes a little tinkering of the details here. There's just so much going on in this face of this rooster. It's tough. That's Carlo. Carlo is the clone. That's funny. Or maybe you're talking about the rooster is Carlo. I don't know. Carlo just sounds like a fun name. You guys are good at naming things. Like I'm impressed. Pretty impressed with you guys. All right, so I think we're getting some detail in his face. Now I got to work on his waddle a little bit, and then I'll come back to his face, I think, a little bit later on. Yeah. I need to at least get a recognizable bird in here. I still got to do some feathers on him. Yeah, we got some work cut out for us, guys. But that's okay. We can do this. We can do this, guys. I believe it. So, like, I don't know. I kind of get the sense that not a lot of the viewers on this channel are Marvel fans, but I am kind of curious. How many of you guys plan to go watch Captain America? Or better question, because Captain America, like, that's one of those things that some people might see, other people may not. I'm more curious, like, how many people are looking forward to, say, Fantastic Four being out this year? I'm kind of curious about that. I know that I must see all of these things, but I realize I'm a weird super fan. Anyway, ever hypnotized? Sorry. Anyone ever hypnotized the chicken? Yes. I actually mentioned on this channel a while back that I hypnotized the chicken, which is weird because I wasn't even working on it. I don't know how I got on that conversation, but I'm pretty sure I've told you guys that I have hypnotized the chicken. Yeah, when we actually had chickens when I was younger, or my parents did, and yeah, that was something we learned to do. It's not hard. They're like I said. I mean, I hate to say it, but they are not that bright. You can entrance a chicken very easily. And the way you do it is like basically you lay them down on their side and you draw a line from their eye across, and they will be fixated on that line that you're drawing, and they will just watch you do that and become entranced. It is a real thing. I don't know if that's how you did it because of can, but that is how I did it, and it is a real thing, and it's fun. And then you basically like you lay them down, you do that, and then you kind of like let them get up, or like you take your hands off and stuff, and they'll just be like they'll snap out of it and be like, well, whoa, what was going on? It's kind of fun. I feel like everybody needs a chicken. Like I know, like there's actually laws against having chickens in some places, like which I think is dumb. Like I don't know, maybe it's like sanitation or something like that. But I don't even think I can have chickens in my backyard, and I live in Kentucky. Maybe it's because I live in Kentucky. But yeah, so like I would love to have a chicken. Just you know, people assume that if you have a chicken, it's for like eating the chicken later and stuff. Like that's how people like. I used to have a rabbit until it passed away this year. Um, People assumed I had that rabbit just so that like I'm like raising it to eat it and stuff. No, I would never eat that rabbit. That's how I would feel with the chicken as well. Rum Dog's like I never liked chicken until we got them, and they're cool. Yeah, they are cool. Chickens are cool. Chickens are cool. This chicken's cool. I like this guy. All right. I'm gonna put a little bit of detail into this wattle, but I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it because I got to get some of these feathers in here. So I'm gonna get a little bit of a highlight going here. Kind of work this down a little bit. Gonna put a little bit of a highlight here. There is a lot more detail in these wattles, waddle, or whatever they're called. Um, but again, I have to move on. I will come back to those. So anyway, getting that in there just to get it started. But I did want to instead move on to, well, let me take a swig. I want to get some feathers in here because I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm just kind of curious how that's going to look. Um, Let me start with this brown here, actually. I think through here it'll be really dark. Now, I want to get this stuff in here, but I don't want to cover up too much of the watercolor. So I want to get some feathers in here without destroying my beautiful, nice little watercolor mess. Hey, Cooper, how's it going? Shout out to you as well. All right, popping off the page. Yeah, so I want this to be kind of dark through here, but I don't want it to drown out the watercolor. So, bit of a challenge, but we'll pull it off. Like through here, I kind of got this like cool little green here and stuff. I don't want to cover that up. But I do want those feathers to be there just because like it looks weird if they don't, if they aren't. Here. And that's a lot of like what this style is. You're basically blending pastel into the watercolor. You don't want it to take over the watercolor. You just want it to look seamless, like it was part of the watercolor to begin with. By doing it with this blending stump, you automatically get these kind of feather-like um, texture textures, which I think are kind of cool. Yeah, I think this weekend I'm definitely going to see Captain America. I may go up to Cincinnati and to the art museum. Um, I don't know. I may get started on that app I was thinking about. I think that's gonna be cool. That app I came up with, the idea I came up with. I think like an art journal. Um, I think a lot of would-be artists can benefit from that. I know that I'm all about productivity and tracking my progress and stuff like that. Obviously, that's one of the reasons why I built this channel in the first place is to be more productive, get better at drawing pictures. Um, you know, do that in public so that like I'm held accountable to it. All of that jazz. I think I can make an app that kind of helps me do that kind of stuff. So I might actually get started on that. That'd be kind of fun. Willy Nilly says this style is really coming along. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a little weird to do a rooster for me, but you know, again, get out of your comfort zone. Draw weird shapes. Like things that draw what you think an alien might look like on another planet. Because like that's the thing, right? So like you see in sci-fi movies that aliens, they're basically like us. They walk around on two legs. Maybe they're like lizards or something, but they're lizard people. That is not a accurate idea of like what aliens would look like on another planet. First off, watch watch Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson, whatever his name is. He'll basically like spell it out for you. The only reason why we walk around on two legs is because we're descended from um, apes that used to like hang out in trees that came down on the ground and then started walking around on two legs. If there was a different environment where we didn't have the same gravity, we didn't have the same, like trees, for example, like if anything was different, we would not be walking around on two legs, right? So like if you want to like break out of your comfort zone, draw what you think an alien might look like on some other planet. It could just be like a complete blob or something. To Willie Nilly's point, there are different kinds of aliens and stuff. Thanks, Kinsley. I appreciate that. Kid says, if you have chickens but not supposed to have chickens in your neighborhood, just keep your neighbors quiet by giving them free eggs. Yeah, there you go. I like that. Oh, that's a great idea, actually. Um, but yeah, so like if you want to get outside of your comfort zone as an artist, draw what you think an alien whatever might look like. I think that just thinking about that would kind of like lend to some really creative interpretations of things in your art, right? So like I don't know, maybe you think that roosters evolved on some other planet. What would a rooster like if roosters were the dominant species on another planet? What would that look like? What would roosters look like as human beings, for example? I think that kind of stuff would be kind of cool. So just to let you know, you put in this dark so that you can kind of come over it with some light, right? So like you put in the dark, you come over it with light, you get instant feathers. I just wanted to point that out real quick. It's just like when doing fur, you put in the lights, you put in the darks, you put in the lights, and then you end up with fur over it. I think I want to kind of get some. No, that's too. Try this. Kind of want to get some light grays in there, and then probably come over that with some white. But yeah, so like, what would it look like if roosters have evolved to have big brains? Like what would that look like? These are all things that you can do to get out of your comfort zone with drawing. Like imagine things that don't exist and you know, make them real. I don't do it so much anymore. I do mostly realism or abstract realism, as I think it's called. Um, so I do that now, but definitely as a kid, I would draw like weird things, just really weird things, right? I mean, the kind of weird things that if you drew it like nowadays in school, you'd probably get pulled into like some office or something like, why are you drawing these weird things, Jeremy? You know? Um, but yeah, like, some blob or something with eyeballs, whatever it is. Draw that stuff. It'll be cool. Let me get some dark shadows in through here with my I'm still using charcoal. I need to get like a black or even a dark blue would probably work through here, but get a get some pastels instead of doing this charcoal. But charcoal and pastels work well together, so I don't feel too bad about it. Starting to look a little bit like a bird, maybe. A bit of a rooster. Do they do we eat roosters? I don't know. Like, do roosters ever end up at like Kentucky Fried Chicken, or is it just chickens? Is roosters are roosters chickens? I don't know the answer to these. Maybe one of you guys do. Like, are roosters different than chickens, or are they chickens? I don't know. Roosters are chickens. Okay, so do we eat roosters? Like, is that a thing? Do human beings eat roosters? Do they ever end up on the dinner plate? And if so, do they taste like regular chickens, or how does that work? Or is there like no difference? Like they just basically throw all roosters in with the chickens, chop them up, whatever. It's probably, you know, not a very polite way of thinking about it. Kind of feel bad for chickens in a way. I mean, I still eat chickens, but I don't know. I kind of feel bad about it. I feel bad about it suddenly, all of a sudden, thinking about it because I'm drawing this chicken slash rooster, whatever the deal. I don't even know what I'm drawing anymore. Like, can you pull up to like a KFC and be like, I want rooster only. Is that a thing? Rooster meat is more common in other countries. Their meat is more gamey and tough. Thank you, kid. I appreciate that. I was kind of curious. I wasn't sure. So, like in Moana and stuff like that, Polynesian islands, I guess they probably eat their roosters. That makes sense. Is it like a speciality? Like, do people crave rooster meat over regular chicken meat? How do we always end up talking about food? Probably shouldn't be talking about these guys as if they're food while I'm drawing them. That seems kind of like disrespectful to the bird. Eh, that's terrible. Like, I am definitely not a vegetarian, but I probably would be if I actually sat down and thought about it. All right, I like the feathers through here. I think that looks pretty good. There are some like little white tufts of feathers. I need to get those in here. So like, I don't know, almost like he's like a middle-aged bird or something. Like I got some white in my beard. I don't like it. It sucks, but it is what it is. That's life. Like this chicken's been through things, or like this rooster. He's seen things in his life. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat out there whining. every time. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. So I think the major area that I need to work on now is probably the wattle. I'm going to tinker with other areas and stuff, but that's probably the area that needs the most detail because like I kind of left it off, and then I'll come back and like kind of pick up whatever little bits I can. Clucky cover ears. Don't they use roosters for soup? Oh no. I don't know. I really don't know. Sounds like a thing. You know, if you just want, if they basically taste like regular chickens and you're just looking for something to kind of add some flavor to your pot, might as well, right? All right, let's see. Let me get some detail up in here a little bit. I have a little bit of a highlight on this back side of this eye. Kind of like that. That's kind of cool. All right, let me get in here and start stippling in here, and then, like I said, there's probably some other areas that I want to add some detail to, but this is probably the area that's most lacking in detail. And that's what kind of sucks is these pastels are not really designed to do kind of stipple art like this. I mean, you can do this and you can spend a lot of time doing this stuff, and probably the softer your pencil, it's going to turn out a little bit better. Um, but also this is a bit of a time sink with these particular pencils. Like these pencils are not soft pencils. I mean, they're kind of soft, but they're not like what you would typically think of as soft pastel. The softer the pastel, the easier it's going to be to like lay over other things, and allow you to create those layers um, of detail. Oh, I kind of like that. All right, instead of doing stipple, I will do like some. Yeah, okay. All right, that kind of looks cool. I mean, honestly, that kind of looks like skin texture, doing like some cool little like scribbled lines, almost like just darting across the page. That's kind of cool. See, you learn different things by challenging yourself and doing things that you're not used to. Like, not only is this working, I think, for this waddle, I think this would look cool if I was doing like a hand, like if I was trying to do fingerprints or something like that. That's kind of cool. Just darting across the page. Like I'm using a purple here. I think that works with this red to kind of create these like little shadows. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. All right, neat. I'm like, I'm a bit of a nerd. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit of a nerd, and I get a little excited about things when things work out. And I think this is a kind of like a little cool technique. So I'm gonna try to remember this for the future. But yeah, I get a little nerdy about it. Like, oh man, that is awesome. Like if I was an actual decent artist, this would not come as a surprise that that looks good, and I would be like, oh, of course it looks good and stuff. I mean, I planned it that way because I'm an awesome artist. No, I'm not an awesome artist. I am an artist that is surprised every single time that something looks right. Um, because I don't have the experience to know the difference, you know? So like when something turns out okay, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Let me try to remember that. But no, I kind of like that. And I need to come over with some highlights and hopefully those turn out looking just as cool. But yeah, I might actually put some detail up in here the same way. Who in here is not a nerd? I'm expecting crickets. You know, that used to carry more of a stigma in the past. Like, I self-identify as a nerd all the time, and I don't get even the weirdest looks anymore. Probably when I was a kid, it was, kids are just mean to each other anyway. I was obviously a nerd, but I wouldn't call myself a nerd back then. But now, you know, um, you know, there is like a culture, I guess, that is like improved in many ways. Like shows like Big Bang Theory and stuff like that made being a nerd not so weird, which is awesome. Almost makes it more funny and funner. So appreciate things like that. But yeah, also, like, I don't know. As you become an adult, being a nerd is just basically, hey, I know something about something, like I know something about my job. Well, you're a nerd, or I can do my job um, competently. Well, you're a nerd. You know, it's not such a weird thing as an adult. So if there's any kids out there who feel weird about being nerds and stuff, don't worry about it. It gets better. I mean that is true of everything, by the way. As you become an adult, you basically people start letting you just be yourself. Um, we're all kind of weird in different ways and stuff, but as you become an adult, people start looking at that like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I want to hang out with that weird dude. Being weird when you're younger, there's a lot more stigma, but you'll grow out of it. It'll be okay. Eventually, your friends will be weirdos like you, because you'll meet more of them. They'll be, you know, especially as you get into like high school or college or something like that, you'll meet more people like yourself, and then you won't feel like so weird, or ostracized or whatever. I guess. I don't know. Whatever people do nowadays. All right, so I kind of like that stuff there. I'm gonna try to get some like little white highlights in here just to kind of highlight some of these features. Should probably use like a pinker. Let me use this. Although that's a little bit warmer than what I'm looking for. Let me use this instead. I don't know if this is going to be light enough. It's kind of cool. Yeah, it's not exactly light like what I wanted, but I'll use this and some white. How's that? It's kind of cool. It doesn't show up on camera as well as it looks in person. In person, that looks actually pretty decent. Just because, like, on camera that looks white, here it looks kind of pink, which I think is good. So, you know how it is. I'll post these things up on the community channel and you'll be able to see them as they're intended, I guess. Nerdy is the new black. Yes. Well, this is an art channel, so like there's various versions of black. Like which one are we talking about? Yes, nerdy's totally fine. You know. And actually, like honestly, like what is nerdy anymore, because there's like so many different fandoms. Like I'm into like Marvel movies, right? Is that nerdy? I don't know. Like if you're not a fan of Marvel movies, you're a fan of something else. Pick one, you know. Maybe you're a Harry Potter fan, or maybe you're a Lord of the Rings fan or something. You're a fan of something. So it's really fandom. And if you're not into fandom, well, guess what? You're probably watching sports. So like, what's the difference? You're a fandom of some sport team. You know, maybe you like the Eagles, maybe you like the Chiefs, but you're you're into some kind of nerdy thing. You know, you may not think that's nerdy, but that is totally nerdy. There's no difference between being into like a sport team and being into like, Marvel movies. Sorry, it's true. It is true. You're everybody's got a everybody's got a thing that they're into, you know. If you're into art, like you're you've got fandoms. Like you have your favorite artists, you know. Hopefully I'm one of them. Everybody's into something. Speaking of which, there's a Comic Con coming up soon. I wonder if I want to go to that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. Comic Cons are so expensive though. Like $50 for the one here, just for one day. Like, well, I mean, it's the best day. Like, you probably get like in for 30 or something like that. You probably sneak through the door around here. But um, yeah, I mean, those things are like heavily overpriced. I don't know, like why I'm on that topic, but it's true. All right, so I like that. Now I kind of feel like this up here needs a little bit of work, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put some pink up here. You're definitely my favorite artist, Jeremy. Thank you. You're my favorite Willie. I appreciate that. Hey, Sammy Cat. Anyone cast to their TVs from their phones know how to get the chat to show on the TV too? I don't know. Honestly, that's a great question. If anybody knows that, like, help Sammy out, because like I would love to watch art shows on my TV, just because like, especially if it's something this long. This usually goes for like an hour and a half or something like that. Something like this long and stuff. You would kind of want to sit back and watch it on your big TV and stuff. But how do you participate in the chat? I don't know. The only thing I can think of is like you could use like a Chromecast or something to get it on your TV, but then you're doing the chatting on your phone. Um, I think that that might work, but it's been a while since I've done Chromecast, so I don't really know how that works. But I think that that's how that would work. I think that I think that's how I would try to do it, is like doing all my chatting actually on my phone while using Chromecast to put it on the TV. I don't think I'd be reading the comments on the TV itself. I think the comments would still be on my phone. I'd just be watching the screen. But that's my guess. If anybody else has a better advice, let me know so that I can let the next person know. I casted my phone and iPad to the TV before, but I don't know how to look at the comments. I think it'd be a little bit difficult to read the comments on a TV anyway. Like I feel like that would be like kind of low resolution, and presumably you're sitting on like a couch looking at your TV, so you're at a distance. So I would think that that would be challenging, but I don't know. All these dots in this freaking what are we calling it? A cone? Oh, it's just tedious. I don't have the patience for it, guys. I don't have the patience. How are we doing on time? All right. So I'm going to start putting in some effects to kind of quickly get through this and put some style into it and add some features and stuff like that. So bear with me here. Um, I'm going to take here. Yeah, I think that looks kind of cool. I'm going to introduce some other colors into various areas. So whenever I've got some oranges and stuff, I like to put in like some light blues just because it looks cool. And then I think even though they're not naturally there, I kind of want to put some blues up in its face. Just because I like to tie things together with like various colors. So I think that looks cool. Maybe some blues are here. I do have like the blues in the beak. So just kind of emphasize that a little bit more. Maybe some blues up here just for fun. All right. So I like this, but I don't like how just blah it is right here. So I'm going to add some more color. Not because it's in my reference photo. I feel like I've faithfully reproduced my reference photo. So now it's just adding style and like little details and stuff like that. So, you know, you can kind of break away from like what you see to what you want to see. So I'm just going to put in some random other like stuff. Again, whenever you have like some orange or browns and stuff like that, just coming in with like a light blue or something, you can see like I beat the hell out of this light blue here. Um, but like that just looks good over orange. So like get crazy with putting blue over orange. It's never going to be a bad decision. Um, you know, got a lot of red in here and stuff like that. Red can be pink, it can be purple, it can be, all kinds of different variations of red. So, you know, feel free to just come in and put in random highlights and stuff. To kind of like, just have some fun with it. I like using whatever variation of pink this is. This works. Let me kind of make that eye a little bit normal. Probably could use a little bit of orange through there as well. I'm going to use this shadow. It's not just straight up orange. It's like a little bit of a. I know you can't really see it on camera, but that gives it a little bit of variation, so it's not all just like one color. And a little bit of definition in there lightly, so that it becomes round again. Yeah, that kind of looks cool. We're having fun now, right? I mean, honestly, like if you really want to challenge as an artist and you like drawing and stuff, but you get kind of bored drawing the same thing, try drawing a friggin' rooster. These guys, there's so much detail. There's so much going on in these guys that it is a bit of a challenge. But you rise to the challenge. I feel like every one of you guys are capable of doing a rooster. Probably way better than me. Thanks, Rum Dog. I appreciate that. Fine looking clucker. It is a fine looking clucker. And because there's kids watching my show, and I have a 4-year-old niece watching my show, I will refrain from saying more than it's a fine looking clucker. I'm going to use this one here. Lighter. Yeah, apparently my niece watches my show, and I have to watch what I say, even though I've got a bit of a potty mouth. And if she ever goes back and watches some of my earlier streams, um, she will She will give Uncle Jeremy a hard time. I mean, but I'm not allowed to say stupid either. Like, that's what I got in trouble for before. My 4-year-old niece was mad at me because I said stupid. I mean, sorry, but roosters are stupid. I feel like I should be able to say that. That is not a dirty word to say stupid. I don't think so. Just so many like little dots and stuff in this freaking thing. I feel like that kind of level of detail. Like if you really want to put that level of detail into your abstract realism type picture, you really need to like just use what you have here and then switch over to like colored pencils because that's the only way that you're gonna get like real fine points of color. Like even if I'm using my pastel pencil, I still have to move my pastel pencil in order to be able to get something out of it, you know? So just be forewarned. Pastel and pastel pencils and stuff, they're not perfect for every kind of drawing. If you're wanting to do ultra realism and stuff, you're gonna have to like really, really work with it to get it. I'm not saying you can't do it. There are some people out there who create like really high realistic pictures using just pastels. Um, but I'm saying you're gonna spend some time with it because you're gonna end up building layers upon layers and layers. Like I don't know how many layers we got into this, but you would be doing a lot more than that. So anyway. Probably gonna wrap this up soon, but yeah, before I go, like anybody got any recommendations on any TV shows I can probably sink into over the weekend, in addition to going out and watching Captain America? Because like I have a show hole. Like I need a TV show I can just kind of sink myself into, just as kind of like background noise or something like that. So if anybody has any recommendations in the next 5 minutes or so, let me know. Cobra Kai. Hey, there you go. Cobra Kai is that's a great one. I haven't seen it, but it is wrapping up this season, and I kind of like now that it's wrapping up, I'm kind of like, well, maybe I should watch it. You know, maybe I should see what's going on. Night Watch. Okay. Is that what platform is that on? I'm not familiar with that one. So Cobra Kai is good. Night Watch. I'd have to learn more about that one because I don't know anything about that one. I'm just watching the end right now of Cobra Kai. I thought that came out. Oh, it is February. I'm an idiot. I was gonna say like I thought the Cobra Kai ends in February, but I guess it is February. Sorry. There's a there's a line here across the beak that I forgot to put in. So let me do that real quick. Oh, on Netflix. Okay, I will check that out. Very cool. Obviously, there's a documentary coming on Netflix that we're waiting on. Hopefully, that'll come out at some point. So much detail in this guy. I don't think most of my abstract realism deal with this much detail, so that's kind of interesting for me that I took this on. I don't know why I did. I don't think I will do that kind of stuff in the future. It is a bit challenging to do. I usually leave most of my picture kind of abstract. Landman. Hmm. Oh, House. That's a great one. Yeah, because there's so many episodes. That's kind of what I need is I need something with a lot of episodes. You know, a couple of seasons really like sink into. House is a good one. I like House. By now you should probably know House is actually based on Sherlock Holmes, which I love Sherlock Holmes adaptations, and House is one of them. The clue is House is supposed to be Holmes. Wilson is supposed to be Watson. Um, they kind of like leaned heavily into the source material for Sherlock Holmes, and I love that. Elementary is a good adaptation of Sherlock Holmes. I didn't think it was going to be. Like, I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. I'm a huge fan of Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock. So sorry, I needed my whiskey. So when Elementary came out, I was like, oh, this is just going to be like a poorly done Sherlock knockoff or something like that. But I started watching it, and it's actually really good. So like, if you haven't seen Elementary, I would recommend that to you guys. It's pretty good. Um, I'm a huge fan of like any kind, and there's supposed to be more Sherlock Holmes adaptations. Now that it's in the public domain, there's probably going to be a lot more. But that's a good one. Elementary is. So I think the other ones are in production. I don't think they're actually out there yet, but we'll see. I don't know if you guys can see my dog. I wish I could show you guys. She's like laying on her back. She does that sometimes. I'm like, you're a lady. You should be a little more decent. Like, oh, that dog. I love that dog. I love my dogs. My dogs are so awesome. Breaks my heart every time they do something cute. She's not being very ladylike though. Billy Bob. Hmm. So did you guys name the clone yet? Or did I miss that? I feel like you guys probably came up with the name and I missed it. I'm just gonna call him Mini Me until you guys correct me. But you guys were really good about naming Geppetto, so I, I hope you guys put some thought into it. All right. So I'm pretty happy with this guy. He's looking like a rooster. There's probably some touch-ups I can do. The problem is there's so much detail in this guy. I think I got enough to make him look like a rooster, but uh, I'm going to put in some random colors for fun, just because I'm like, I need a highlight right here. And then I think I want a little bit. We're almost done, guys. I'll wrap this up in like, I don't know, like the next 5 minutes. Some highlights over here on this side. And then, all right, so I'm pretty happy with that. That looks cool. All right, cool. The detail. Well, I feel like I could spend like 5 days putting detail into this. There's just so much to put in. But I think like there is a point where you have to like look at it and be like, is this really what I wanted? And I think so. Yes, on this one, I feel like it's a good example of that kind of style I've been working on, where you have realistic features and then abstract features. It's probably not my best work, but it is a rooster, and this is my first time drawing a rooster. So I feel like I felt kind of proud of it a little bit to at least you know say that I did this. But no, it's a good example of the style applied to yet another animal. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I might tinker with it a little bit more overnight. You guys know how it goes. I might, look at it and be like, maybe I can do this and maybe I can do that and stuff and just kind of tinker with it. But I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully you guys like it. again, like the first time I did a Rooster, I think as far as that goes, spot on. Neat. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this done enough to where I might tinker with it a little bit more in the morning, but for now it's done enough. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You know, it's always fun hanging out with you guys. We're getting pretty far into February, so you know, I'm pretty happy that the winter may be turning a corner here. We might end up in spring. I mean, I don't know. At least around here, February is always like, you know, one of the colder months. But I like you know, I'm not Catholic. I'm not particularly religious or anything like that. But I like the concept of Lent, right? So I'm looking forward to Lent being the final step of winter, and then maybe getting into some spring type weather directly thereafter. I always like things like St. Patrick's Day, which is right around the corner. So there's a lot to look forward to. I don't know why I got off on a tangent like that, but it is there's a lot to look forward to, I think. So, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this Rooster. Um, yeah, I think he's there. I might tinker with him a little bit more. The problem is this stipple stuff. It looks right, but it's not perfect. So you know, perfectionist. I don't know. That's probably going to bother me a little bit. But anyway, this is probably a good stopping point. Um, his son could be Panito. It's not his son. So like calling him his son is like calling Mini Me Doctor Evil's son. I don't think that they're technically. I don't think that's the actual relationship. Like, if one is like a clone of the other, I don't think that that's actually like a father son kind of relationship. That's more like versions of yourself, right? So, like, if I had a clone, I don't think that would be, I don't think I would be my clone's father. Like, even if the clone material came from me, I don't think that's how that works. I think we are both me to different degrees, right? So they're both Geppetto, just one of them's a mini Geppetto. So min, Pinito is actually pretty good, but not as a father son type deal. Sammy Cat was starting seeds all day. That's a great winter activity. Yeah. Apparently now is the time to do that. I have heard that from others and stuff. I've also heard like it's a good advice, like don't actually plant your crops. Crops and plant your plants before Good Friday. Like that's just some weird folklore rule. So beware of frosts, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, start the seedlings now because spring is right around the corner. Just tinkering with that side there. All right. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Rooster. Yes, absolutely. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys out there. You know, hopefully you guys have some special loved ones. If not, hey, there's nothing wrong with being a Valentine of a dog. Like I am Bear's Valentine. By the way, hopefully you like this Rooster. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the screen here. But yeah, so I am Bear's Valentine. She is mine. It's just you know, it's a great Valentine's. I can't give her chocolates though. I'm gonna have to give her something else. Maybe like dog biscuits or like little heart shaped dog biscuits. Maybe. What do you think, Bear? Heart shaped dog biscuits. It's fine. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hopefully you like this Rooster. I will put this up on the community channel. I will be back on Tuesday. I don't know what we're gonna draw. We'll draw something. It'll be awesome. So. You guys stay cool. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Go out and see Captain America. The more people who see it, the more they make these movies. So, like, even if you don't like this one, maybe it's not your favorite or whatever, go and see it anyway. But anyway, appreciate hanging out with you guys. Hope you like this Rooster. I'll see you guys Tuesday. Have a good one. Bye.